Cinema or Bust, episode 99.
99.
99. No, joke's on you. It's actually Cinema Voice to Cinnamon, episode 99.
Unlucky. If you're
Yeah.
looking for cinema or bust, you should probably stop listening now.
Hope you're well, wherever you are, whatever you're doing. Feeling a little bit sore today.
Yeah.
I had a couple last night.
You texted me at 3:30 in the morning saying, can you turn up half an hour later? Which
I love that in my mind. I thought that half an hour was going to be pivotal to my recovery. Yeah, so I'm sort of feeling the sort of semi-constant waves of nausea. Vague sense of arousal as well. Why is that when you're hungover? Why does that happen?
Someone told me that it's because your body thinks you're going to die.
So it's kind of like the last sort of...
You must procreate immediately. I can't remember. Maybe it was you that told me that. Yeah. So I've taken that on board as scientific fact. Maybe on Google it
as
later.
Everyone should do.
Yes, absolutely.
I say,
You heard it from us first.
Yeah.
What we're doing this week?
Oh yeah,
films. Oh.
That thing. Hamnet.
Yes.
Chloe Zhao returning after her sort of difficult spell. I don't know is that the appropriate phrasing?
Just a sort of bit of a failure, I suppose. Not Chloe Zhao. She's way better at filmmaking than I am. But no, I mean, the Eternals, in the consciousness of many, didn't do particularly well, critically or commercially. So it was seen as an attempt to bring on an esteemed sort of filmmaker into the world of Marvel and see what they could do, how they could make it unique, and it didn't work out, basically.
No.
Have you seen it? I still haven't seen it.
I don't think so.
Oh, okay. So it can't. If you have, it can't have been that memorable.
No, I don't think I have seen it. I can't. Yeah.
Does it blend in with the rest of them?
No, it is different in some ways. I think a lot of the differences are very superficial.
Okay.
So we'll talk a little bit about it. I mean, I don't think it's that important because I think we kind of begrudgingly talk about Marvel a fair bit. So it's not the end of the world if we don't really talk about it for a long period. But we'll talk about her career, her filmography. I watched Nomadland for the first time last week, so talk a little bit about that.
Yeah.
And then the film itself, and maybe a little bit about kind of romance films in general.
Okay.
Because it's a very kind of pointed romance, isn't it?
It's a lot more romantic than I thought it would be, actually, especially in the opening act.
Yeah.
Which is true to Shakespeare, I suppose. So yeah, looking forward to it.
Nice, let's do it.
Let's go.
Questing the cinematic void.
So Hamnet is a sort of, I guess, a kind of departure from the kind of films that Chloe Zhao usually makes or has made.
Yeah.
In the sense, obviously, geographically. she made her name with these kind of stories about, I guess, what it is to be American.
Okay.
These kind of like fringe societies or ways of life or character or sort of archetypes, national archetypes.
Yeah.
And probing questions about how that sort of relates to identity and the validity of those things, particularly in the backdrop of like a kind of the historical context as well.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'm thinking Nomadland. I mean that is an example of a story of a community not often represented in film. So
no,
and obviously with her own background, I'm assuming at some point she's either the child of.
She was born in China.
Okay, so she's first generation immigrant, then effectively is that? Did she live in America?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I'm not actually sure as to her her sort of status.
Yeah, I know she's a controversial figure in China because of her stance on, obviously, like that sort of the human rights record and all that kind of thing. And there was like a boycott of Nomadland, I think.
Oh, really?
Or even the Eternals, I can't remember. But I have all very vague memories of her being quite a controversial figure in China. Not in America, but in China, definitely. So,
right, okay.
Yeah, I can't remember it. I can't really remember the specifics, which isn't great. Anyway, moving swiftly on. I'm glad I mentioned it. Someone can let me know the details, or I can.
Yeah. Someone could leave us a comment
Yeah.
telling us how off the boil we were.
Yeah.
I think she's quite an interesting filmmaker in that sense. That if I think about films like Songs My Brother Taught Me, which I think is her first film.
Yeah.
It's about a kind of American Indian or Native American, I should say, reservation. Because I think a lot of the kind of native population were kind of forced into those places, and they are quite impoverished. And what tends to come with that, obviously, like as we know, with any kind of impoverished place or landscape, is kind of poverty. Obviously. But crime and addiction and these kind of coping mechanisms, I guess, for the sort of socio-economic and historical situation that these people find themselves in.
Kind of similar to what's happening to like Aboriginals in Australia. Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
The introduction of basically sort of substances that they previously weren't privy to, and technology that hasn't been developed over time in their society. It's kind of thrust on them immediately, right? And weirdly, there's parallels there with I'm thinking in Avatar where she gets the flamethrower.
Oh,
the
right.
kind of themes are similar there. Obviously, it's a lot more real. But
Well, in the context that they're given these things to be given the illusion of being kind of on an even keel, whereas the intention is far more sort of insidious, isn't it? It's to bring them down and keep them contained. And, and that's a kind of life on the fringes, and their culture and identity has been pushed to the fringes. And it's about the kind of dreams and aspirations of two young people, a brother and sister.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I mean, it's been a while since I've seen it, but it's a very sort of quietly powerful film.
Yeah. Is it a period film or is it contemporary?
No, it's relatively contemporary.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So there's properly, obviously, these sort of reservations still exist.
Yeah.
In a sense, I suppose they've been kind of assimilated gradually, but
there was a brief spate of those kind of films, like Wind River.
Oh yeah, I've seen Wind River.
Yeah, those kind of films about that, and how like a lot of Native American girls and women go missing and they never get found.
Yes, yeah.
It's this sort of idea that that they've, despite being the indigenous population, they're kind of forgotten and not cared about, and
kind of colonial attitude.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I think and that's where you start to see the way in which she kind of interacts with the subject matter. There's almost kind of drifting, handheld style, and that kind of continues right through her filmography.
Yeah,
this kind of landscapes and like kind of close-ups, and you get this sort of feeling. There's almost like deliberate hand movement. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, yes, absolutely. Yeah.
Just to sort of keep that kind of feeling of authenticity, and I guess a kind of documentary style aesthetic, which brings you closer as an audience member to the kind of stories that are unfolding before you.
Okay, yeah.
Then you've got The Rider, which is kind of like, it's a film about a professional rider in America. I think when they go on the horses and they buck. And all that
horse
sort
ride.
of
Okay,
yeah. I should have specified what he was riding.
Yeah,
horses on top
rider.
of the horse.
Yeah.
Not, I don't know if you could. Anyway, and he sustains an injury and can't do it anymore. So it's about him kind of reevaluating himself against the archetype of the cowboy, which is obviously, as we'd say a lot, synonymous with the West, synonymous with American identity, masculinity, and he's having to reevaluate his life and find new meaning. Again, very kind of similar roaming, kind of ethereal camera movements. And what I think is interesting about her is that I kind of think, in the context, there's a few other filmmakers that have a very similar approach.
Okay. Yeah.
So I often think about her like Kelly Reichardt in the same kind of, the same circles almost.
So American Identity, independent dramas. Yeah. Okay.
But I think I'm not to sort of throw shade on Chloe Zhao, like less than 15 minutes in, but I feel that perhaps less so with her earlier films, but more so with Nomadland, is that they feel quite pointed. Do you know what I mean? You can see very clearly what her intention is what she's trying to elicit from the audience.
Yeah, okay.
And obviously that's not something that's necessarily always deserving of criticism because, all of the techniques are there for her to try and elicit a response. But I just feel like Reichardt's deconstructions or explorations of American identity are a lot more sort of sedate. It's almost as if she's letting it happen.
All right, okay.
As opposed to Zhao, who I feel is a bit more deliberate in the kind of decisions that are made and how they kind of shape the characters and the broader themes.
Yeah. I mean, I haven't seen Nomadland for a little while. It was one of those strange sort of COVID era films where the Oscar film was available to view on Disney Plus.
Oh right,
So I remember watching it on there, and yeah, it is very deliberate in its portrayal of its themes. Themes of sort of like isolation, themes of kind of shrinking population of a shrinking community, and sort of having to battle against. Not battle against progress, but battle against what other the kind of
modern value
army,
systems,
would consider to be progress.
Yes,
and it is. I don't remember it being particularly subtle. I do remember enjoying it quite a bit, and I remember thinking it was quite powerful in moments. There's moments. There's just a moment where Frances McDormand is like bathing in a stream. I remember that being quite sweet, like quite a nice.
Just
moment.
need to remember that, you dirty dog.
Oh yeah, Frances McDormand. No, it's just a sweet moment where she kind of is illustrating everything you need to know about the character in a very simple way. In that, these people are going to use nature to, a sustainable way of bathing. I suppose. But yeah, it's not subtle. I do remember quite thinking that it was an enjoyable experience, though. I haven't seen a great deal of Kelly Reichardt's films. I still need to watch Meek's Cutoff, which is on my list and has been for a while because you described it to me a couple of months ago and I thought, that sounds fantastic, and I've just not got around to watching it yet.
Yeah, no, it is fantastic. Again, taking a genre in a totally different direction.
Yeah.
And the way she approaches it, it's just, like, even cinematically, there are scenes like they're nearly in pitch black, lit by fire or candles. There's no assistance, in terms of lighting, or artificial lighting, I should say.
Yes, okay.
There's a real commitment to the sort of the realism of it, and the kind of dynamics of power, that follow the lines of gender, for example, and how they play out. I think it's a real skill to kind of keep things subdued, and having the confidence in the kind of the actors, but also the audience to piece those things together, to contextualize what's happening in an era, and to infer things from subtlety. It's my favorite kind of filmmaking, I think. I hold Kelly Reichardt in very high regard.
And
I do with Zhao as well. I think, sort of going back to Nomadland. I think what I like about it is that there is a sort of commitment to realism in the sense that a lot of the supporting cast are actual nomads.
Oh, right. Yeah.
So you get this idea, like, you're starting to see. Again, it's about that national tapestry, and it's the kind of rehash of the American mythology. The idea of, there's even like a line of dialogue. I think it's Frances Dorman's character's sister that says to her, like, you're basically like a kind of, it's like the American identity. It's the American dream. You're traveling across the land. Everything to you is transitory, and you're fleeing something, but that's America. That's how so much of America was founded. Obviously a lot of violence, as we spoke about earlier, in relation to songs my brother taught us and the history behind that. But it's such a big part of the American identity, and the nomads are almost living that. But whereas instead it's not like creaking wagons and
the Donner Party, right?
Yeah, it's
before it went wrong.
It's rusty, it's rusty vans and Amazon factories. Do you know what I mean? It's like, and there's something about that juxtaposition which is really quite powerful, and I think it's one of the best things about the film that the idea of what this means is now very different. Not as sort of scathingly critical as it perhaps could have been certainly with the inclusion of Amazon, I thought that was a bit strange.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I don't remember a great. Does she?
She works at an Amazon factory, yeah. And I guess like the intention is to just kind of let the scenes play out.
Yeah.
So maybe that's a bit unfair to say that.
Would that be seen as another commitment to realism in the sense that if you're going to try and find a job, that's one of like
it's like seasonal work every Christmas that she does.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
but I think the most powerful moments in the film are actually, for my money anyway, with the supporting cast, because they were telling stories, and it's almost like this. It goes back to this idea around identity and why they do it, and obviously a lot of them are forgotten, as you said. They're kind of people that don't really have families, or they don't feel like they have a permanent base. There's no sort of structure or support for them, so they find that support in other people who live a similar lifestyle. And it's built atop of this idea of transitory interactions and fleeting moments, and never being sad because you're always going to see them on the road. The road is very much a very blatant metaphor, in the film. But there are some scenes that Frances McDormand has. There's one with the guy right near the end of the film. Spoilers. He ends up being a giant robot. So he a giant sex robot.
Yeah.
And her and Frances McDormand have sex in the stream, as you mentioned.
That's the scene I was on about. Amazing. Computer generated work in that is so much better than Eternals.
Metallic testicles, sort of just
incredible,
moving through the water.
The HDRI they used for those metallic testicles was perfect. Sorry, go on.
Given the context of what the bloke's going to say now, that's this preceding few.
Maybe we should cut to an advert at this point.
It's going to be really.
Ron Seal is available.
Fence looking a bit tired. Is your fence looking a bit tired? We could do that thing where you just kind of try and make it seem organic.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Ben, I noticed your fence was looking a bit tired. I love the idea you get really angry at me then. Which is a full-blown argument. It's supposed to be advertising. Ron Seal, Ben. Actually painted my fence the other day, you fucking prick.
Yeah. It wasn't with Ron Seal, actually. Oh, I've said that. I've said it now.
Yeah.
I've said it now.
I actually prefer the B&Q equivalent.
Yeah, we're going to lose our sponsorship.
Given now, as I said, what the character says, this is going to all sound quite sensitive.
Go on,
but he's talking about his reason for being a nomad, and he talks about his son committing suicide.
Oh, yeah. Yes, I remember now. Yeah.
And it's just, really emotional moment, because I watched it with Georgia, and Georgia loved it, by the way. She really liked it.
Yeah.
But it's just those moments you can see why it's so important to them. Yeah. And this kind of the sadness comes from the fact that society doesn't see value in why they do it. And makes no effort to try and, I guess, orchestrate a situation where people can feel kind of secure and safe and well looked after. The fact that they have to kind of snatch that freedom back because they don't feel they have it if they were to stay wherever it is they lived. And they're all sort of fleeing something, trauma or guilt and I think I liked that kind of refusal to shy away from that and the realities that are kind of besieging these people as they sort of travel the length and breadth of America.
I suppose that's, in a way, that is the advantage of living in such a large area, right? In terms of America, like, it's huge. It's so much larger than England. I think it'd be quite a lot more challenging to be a nomad in the UK because there's only so much land you can cover. And although there is a variety of different landscapes in England, I think America has different time zones. You've got desert, you've got lush greenery, you've got the plains, you've got lakes, you've got
snowy mountains.
Stuff.
Yeah,
so you can literally run away to effectively a different country. And you can kind of have that comfort blanket of knowing that you're in a different space and you kind of wiped the slate clean, I suppose.
Yeah.
I keep thinking about Into the Wild, which is even less subtle, but nonetheless, I mention this film a lot, but there's a moment in that where actually Chris McCandless is sort of running away himself, isn't he, from what he considers to be a
sort of sick society.
Yeah. It's pre-van life, but it's similar. That's what his attitude is, and he meets these, for lack of a better term, nomads himself, and they kind of, there's a moment where she just whispers, "Do your folks know where you are?" So there's still in them something they're holding on to, which isn't nomadic in nature, that they kind of impart on him, and he sort of refuses it. But yeah, I just thought I'd mention that moment in the context of what you were talking about like running away. Really,
Yeah,
it's interesting. Yeah.
I think it's strange. I think because obviously, you know, I watch a film and then have a look at Letterboxd and see what the kind of general consensus is. I find it so interesting.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Kind of more so than reading like professional critic reviews in a way. Even though obviously I do that, and obviously a lot of them use Letterboxd, but. I think a lot of people who were more critical about it found it to be kind of like adjacent to like poverty porn.
Okay, yeah.
And also that having Frances McDormand in it kind of offsets the impact of the film. Right. I imagine, and again, that's probably more a reality of the Hollywood or filmmaking machine. You know, they probably said to Chloe Zhao, "You've got to have a kind of reputable name in this. You can't just have like a nobody or an up and comer. You know, you need someone like Frances McDormand, and that's obviously not their fault. That's more of the reality of the industry. And Frances McDormand is good in it. She slots into that kind of world with relative ease, I think.
Yeah, I think so. I think the casting's good, but I can see the criticism there.
Yeah, same.
That you wouldn't get an unknown, which would be more in the spirit of the film. But at least they didn't get like Anne Hathaway or something. That would have been like that. Probably would have been more overtly kind of shitting on the themes that it's trying to do.
Yeah, Anne.
Yeah, good actress, good actor. It's an actress. Fuck. Maybe cut that out. Maybe not. We'll see.
See what happens.
Yeah. No, that is a valid criticism, though. I can see that. But yeah, to get the funding, maybe it was a funding thing. Maybe Chloe Zhao just wanted to work with Frances McDormand.
Yeah, there are lots of potential reasons as to why, right? I mean, I've just kind of gravitated towards sort of industry cynicism, but it might have just been her.
Yeah, and the fact that it came from a Letterboxd user meant that no one was paid to make that opinion either, which is kind of makes it more valid, I suppose. In sort of the world of film criticism, I do think occasionally reviews are written in such a way that the criticism almost is provoking people and provoking them to engage with it in a negative way, but nonetheless, like engagement drives profit, and so film criticism would, especially in the sort of internet era, there's always a slight kind of skepticism.
You sort of doubt the validity of opinion.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, interesting.
But then what you were saying about Letterboxd, that kind of circumvents that because it's just people talking about films, right? I know, like you say, there are professional critics on there, but yeah, kind of an interesting way to circumvent that.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I think that's You've kind of hit the nail on the head why I like it so much.
There you go. Oh.
Yeah. No, I like it though. I mean, it did win the Oscar for Best Film that year.
It did, yes.
Or was it Best Director? I can't remember. Was it Best Director she won?
I thought it won the Oscar for Best Film.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Again, Oscars. I can't remember what the other films were it was competing against.
Yeah, it was the COVID thing. It was like 2020, wasn't it? I think. Who knows? Let's look it up right now.
Have a butchers.
Yeah,
I think.
Best Picture and Best Director and Best Actress. Fucking hell.
Wow, so it won 3.
Yeah, 2020. Yeah. So
what was it up against? Sorry.
That's all right. It was up against, so it's the 93rd Academy Awards. And it was up against, I'm just filling time at this point, The Father, Judas and the Black Messiah, Mank, Minari, Promising Young Woman, Sound of Metal, and The Trial of the Chicago 7.
Right, okay. Yeah, the year's coming back to me now.
Yeah.
All right.
Emerald Fennell was nominated. Thomas Vinterberg for another round for directing. Lee Isaac Chung for Minari, who went on to do Twisters. And yeah, Emerald Fennell. Frances McDormand was up against Viola Davis. Andra Day, The United States versus Billie Holiday. Don't you remember that?
No.
Vanessa Kirby and Carey Mulligan in Promising Young Woman.
Oh, right. Yeah.
There you go. That's the year. That's a funny old time. That the world was on pause.
Yeah,
and I think we've sort of out of all of the years, that's the one that people are perhaps going to forget. I mean, I'll be honest, I did forget about Nomadland for quite a while until Hamnet came about, and I was like, oh, Chloe Zhao. Eternals, Nomadland. That was interesting.
Yeah, it's a weird one, isn't it? I can sort of see why it didn't really have much staying power in a way.
Yeah,
Yeah. I know that's. I mean, because I liked the film, I didn't, but I don't know. Yeah, there's something.
Would it be adding to the almost escapism angle? For at that point in history, a lot of people were looking to escape from their situation. Obviously, it being COVID, and you'd be being sort of locked in.
Right.
Not locked in that weird Gen Z way people say, but like physically locked in.
Flow state.
Yeah. But
I'm in the flow state. Can you stop bothering me?
I'm wired in. No, yeah, and maybe this film provided a sort of idealistic
Possibly.
thing.
Yeah,
in the sense that like people want to go people want to be traveling.
I guess it is a fantasy, isn't it? In some ways,
I think a lot of people see it as a fantasy.
just going on the back of what you said there about the kind of idealistic thing. The idealistic thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The idealism of the kind of the getting in a van and driving.
Yeah.
It's reminded me of Lost in America.
Okay. Yeah.
Albert Brooks.
Yes.
And it's about this kind of couple, both of which working these kind of like corporatized jobs amongst the sort of economic boom of the 1980s.
Okay.
It's all kind of all the aspirations are very much in line with the kind of dominant ideology of the time. Mm-hmm. Work, make money, buy a bigger house,
Wall Street,
fill it full of commodities and all this kind of stuff,
ornaments.
And then one day they decide to kind of drive.
Sorry,
ornaments. Yeah.
Lots of them.
There's a few ornaments in the film.
Yeah.
Lovely lamps. I seem to remember.
Expensive lamps. Even for
Expensive
the
lamps.
80s.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, yeah, synonymous with the era, of course.
Yeah. Jordan Belfort had so many lamps.
And they decide to kind of like, again, it's this idea, like, the kind of rehashing the American mythology, and they leave that life behind and they get in a van and they drive.
Okay,
and they get themselves in various situations on the way. And then they actually end up just giving up and going back, and they're excited to go back to society. So it's like, the comment there, at least I felt, was that it was about, obviously we are kind of more attached to the kind of to the way of life we have, for all of its kind of dehumanizing qualities. There's something quite ensnaring about it.
Yeah.
And the kind of fanciful ideas around escaping it, even they are controlled by the same sort of power systems that we seek to sort of escape.
Yeah.
And that's something that kind of, it's a lot more satirical in the way it presents it, of course, than in Nomadland.
Yeah.
But there's a sort of parallel there in the sense that, she frequently struggles with people's attitudes towards her way of life, and obviously she needs to still kind of be around it to earn money, or if something goes wrong, like when her van breaks, she has to borrow money. So you're kind of tethered to this to society as much as you try and escape it, and there's something kind of quite sad about that, I think. And in Lost in America, it's the kind of last. I mean, spoilers, but the last bit is literally them saying, "Let's go back," and the van just screams off back down the street. And I think he tries to get his job back and everything, But he was when he leaves, he's like, "Fuck you! I don't need this anymore." And everyone's obviously shocked. Some are really supportive, but he's almost like cocky that he's escaping. He's almost got to come back and grovel for the life that he used to sort of malign.
Yeah.
And there's something really quite tragic about that.
Yeah. You forget
it just made me think of it.
Yeah, you forget how much you rely on central heating, I suppose, to get up. The get up and go. It's sort of like that's the salt path thing.
Right.
I think that appeals to that same idealistic, in a very small English version of it. Just like, let's just go out and do the fucking Welsh coastal path, just go camping for ages.
Yeah.
And like, obviously the reality is like halfway through the first day, you're probably like, man, I'm tired, exhausted, I need a shower and I need a radiator.
Yeah.
I often think that's kind of like...
yeah.
You forget how much you take.
And they're
for
all
granted.
things that you shouldn't necessarily feel guilty for wanting. It's just...
No.
Everyone should have those things. And, and it's... I guess the way it's controlled is probably the problem. Anyway, don't want to get on my soapbox, but I just thought it was an interesting comparison.
Yeah.
Just came to me now.
Oh, there you go.
And I guess if you think about it, well, in the context of now, there's almost like there's so much of like social media is geared towards that kind of touch grass attitude. You know what I mean? Like, go out into the world and see it. And people have got van conversions. So they've got like vans that are nicer than my house. You know what I mean? And it's like aspirational. It's become a part of the same thing, and almost loses a sense of validity as a result, in my view. Anyway, I don't know.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, you forget that these vans run on petrol, so like the idea is that they're giving off the impression that it's like a self-sustaining lifestyle, and it's very kind of ecologically more friendly, but it's not. It's a vehicle. I often think that, and it's sort of and it's troubling because I think the people that present this lifestyle are probably either struggling a lot more than they are letting on, or they don't have the lifestyle at all. They park their van 20 minutes away from their house. I do often think that they just put it in a car park near the start of a walk or something, and they just make a fry up and then go back again. That's very cynical of me. Maybe I'm wrong, but
if you own a van and like to go driving, please call in. If you like to go driving.
Yeah.
Stay.
I own a van, but I hate to go driving. I never drive it.
If you're a nomad, digital nomad. That's another insufferable modern term, isn't it? Digital nomad.
Really? What is that? Is that a kind of...
That's like somebody like works online, so they have like an online job, but they travel the world.
Oh, I see.
Right. A lot of countries and like local communities are fiercely resistant to them because I think economically they're not that great for like a local area.
Yes, okay.
To kind of suck all the business and money out of it.
Then move on.
And they've always got top knots,
Oh right, okay, that's just...
marine pants.
Yeah, they just. I think I know the. I think I know the.
I'm wired in.
Yeah.
But
this is the kind of, it's a similar aspirational thing to maybe what a lot of people considered Nomadland to be. I thought it was a bit more complicated.
Yeah, I thought so. I think it was more about again that
running away,
the rehash of the American identity, and they're very poignant and stories that drive it. I think that's more what it's about. I think.
Yeah, definitely.
Individual tales of loss or grief or whatever. Yeah, I don't know. It felt a bit more like that than it did like an aspirational.
I think the bit at the beginning where she's like shitting into a bucket sort of cemented. You just this is
I thought that was a bit much.
Yeah.
And not I have a problem with seeing Frances McDormand shitting in a bucket.
No.
In fact, I was like, I can check that off the fantasy list. But it's more that like I just thought this is what I mean about Chloe Zhao. A bit pointed. It's like, I get it. Van life's hard. You don't need to do her having diarrhea in a bucket. I don't know. It just felt a bit like. And it almost felt like as well, like not that she hasn't had diarrhea, but it didn't seem like the sound fitted the scene.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
The sound design choice there.
It felt distant.
Strange.
It's like, well, you're quite close to her shitting. Like, it feels like she's quite far away. Basically, camera in the bucket.
Shall I check if it won the Oscar for Best Sound Design? Probably not.
For that scene?
Yeah. Nope.
No.
Controversial. But yeah, it's funny. Going back briefly to that floaty handheld camera style, I often think that either the reason it looks like that is because the cameras are heavier than what we are typically used to. Because what you realise when you try and do that handheld floaty, you think it's going to look amazing, and it doesn't. It looks really jittery. Because naturally, like depending on who's handling the camera and when they've last eaten, it's quite often you get those sort of micro jitters that come with holding something.
Yeah.
And you don't get that with this. It's really hard to get right. So either it's a very deliberate style, meant to emulate the kind of free form nature of the lifestyle.
Yeah.
Or it's somehow done in post to remove all the little micro jitters. I don't know how they do it, but it's actually quite a lot more challenging than you might expect to get that.
Yeah,
that
and to pull it off.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. I do like her style. I mean, she even tried it with Eternals. She used that camera quite a lot.
Really? Okay. Yeah. That's interesting.
And I think it's interesting if you think about the kind of more pointed and overt parts of her filmmaking style. It kind of underscores that criticism a little bit when you see it deployed in the realm of Marvel, because and it's not necessarily, again, not her fault, as we've said a lot when we talk about this kind of the kind of stuff that was simmering and behind the scenes,
and
the outcome of that. The only thing we've got is the film, right? And But to me, it seemed that, those things that she did, Marvel were happy to kind of tolerate because they were sort of superficial.
Okay, yeah,
I think
yeah.
there's still a heck of a lot of like Marvel-y style storytelling in that film.
Right, yeah.
But, I think the stuff that she did, like the handheld camera, the sort of landscapes, spending more time with characters, it was kind of all there. But
Yeah.
I don't know, like some people are really taken by it. I know Alex Hunt's a huge fan of it.
Is he?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
he loves it. Yeah, yeah. I'd like to sort of hear his reason for it, actually.
Yeah, me too.
Let's call him now.
Let's ring him right now.
Yeah.
You're live on air.
Do not swear.
So you can kind of see that style in Hamnet as well, and I liked its use in Hamnet a lot. Hamnet a lot. I'm going to get that wrong.
Well, yeah, but it's fine, isn't it?
Especially at the beginning and also in the closing moments. I thought it really complemented what the film was about. Really,
Yep.
very down to earth, very human. It doesn't fall to. It doesn't kind of like fall victim to the prestigious sort of widescreen, over-engineered shot, which like if you're doing a film about Shakespeare and his life and his family's life, you probably could quite easily fall into that trap. But stylistically, I thought Hamnet pulled it off brilliantly. Very simple English woodland setting. Which I like seeing on screen quite a bit.
Yeah, it's interesting to see because this is like it is quite a departure for her, really.
Yeah, definitely.
In terms of obviously, I think Eternals is set on Earth, but I think she's obviously moving to quite a different setting.
Yes.
I think you're right. There's something quite uncinematic about her approach. It's sort of simultaneously kind of both. Do you know what I mean? Like they're beautiful, but it's the way she's more taking in the landscapes as opposed to kind of deliberately trying to derive beauty from them by through camera movement or
It really suited the style it suited the film really nicely, I thought.
One of the things you can't really fault Zhao for is how the way she uses the camera works with the kind of raw nature of her performance as she tends to get from actors. And I think in this case, it's particularly interesting because it kind of demystifies Shakespeare.
Yes.
Who's obviously a cultural titan, and I liked that. I thought it was important to do that, to sort of pull away at the kind of the adoration and and the kind of lasting impact that he's
pull back the mythology surrounding. He's presented in Hamnet as a very sort of one of many, not a kind of singular individual with this sort of like grand idea of how he's going to change the world. He's just trying to sort of weirdly, he's just trying to earn a living and he's just trying to tell stories, which is presumably what. And I kind of liked that. Yeah, I liked that about that style complementing that. I totally agree. I think that's one of the strengths of the film. He feels just like a very normal man, a normal character, unremarkable in a lot of ways.
I liked the kind of battles that were playing out because you've got obviously his family are very much like they see his kind of love of writing as fancy, don't they? And there's quite a good scene where the dad hits him.
Oh yeah.
Like, you will not. And he pushes his dad to the wall. Like you're not hitting me again.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? That was a really kind of one of those. You could see that there's this kind of pent up frustration in Mescal or in Shakespeare.
I
thought there was some really interesting little moments about the conflict between the kind of artist's life and the reality, and obviously how success is often dependent on the pain of others. Because obviously he is someone that he doesn't feel whole in what it is that he's doing. He's just surviving, and obviously there's a lot of dignity in that because he's got a family to support. And that's a very obviously a very noble thing to do, but he can't separate himself from his dreams or his ambitions. And that creates a sort of internal strife and a sadness that even overpowers the kind of desire to to sort of look out for the people he cares about.
Yeah, and grieve as well. Like there's a moment where he goes to London pretty soon after. Spoilers. The death of his son, and that creates a tension between him and his wife, Agnes, not Anne, in this, which lasts until the film's conclusion. And yeah, you're right. That's sort of the kind of tortured artist angle of like, his success in this area versus his not failure, but like this sort of strife of, at that point in time, normal family life. And I imagine like grieving for a sort of lost son or daughter would have been quite commonplace in that time. It's another thing I liked about the film. I think that there would have been a tendency to portray the loss of a child as being quite normal in that time, but it doesn't mean that it's not very, very, very painful. And it kind of
There's a great bit with Emily Watson when she speaks about her own like giving birth, and she lost like 2 children.
Yeah, that's right.
And there's something quite sort of matter of fact about the way she says it, but she's obviously clearly pained by.
Yeah, it makes her character a lot more 3-dimensional. She's kind of, it's not at face value you kind of think she's very sort of that stereotypical sternness that these characters typically have, and that moment kind of illustrates why, I suppose. Yeah,
and it pulls back the layers a little bit. It makes her a bit more multifaceted. Because I agree, because initially it was like you're just kind of there to represent the time, aren't you? Like,
yeah, I thought that initially. I did think you're kind of that, like the sort of the stereotypical stern woman of the 15th century kind of thing.
yeah.
Beholden to tradition at the expense of progress, that kind of stuff.
Which is interesting, given that sort of, Buckley's character is kind of like pagan adjacent. I don't know, like...
Yeah, she's definitely portrayed as in touch with nature and in touch with the kind of spiritual side of...
Which puts her at odds with kind of Christian belief systems and value systems of the time as well, which is, again, another really interesting conflict the film sort of semi-explores. I think it's pulling at a lot of threads, and it also explores how that is kind of a part of Shakespeare and his writing. There's a lot of kind of fantasy and elements that, and themes and ideas that kind of are more akin to kind of pagan ideas or, mythology that's not religious. And that's probably a lot of the reason why he was such a sort of shocking figure.
Yeah.
That his plays were so kind of challenging for audiences at the time,
I thought that's what attracted him to her, was her kind of less, more I guess, wanton conduct. Than what you typically experience in that time. That's what he liked about her, and that's what ultimately attracted him to her. And it's definitely in the first act that's quite apparent, I think.
Yeah.
I liked... I didn't actually know that about Anne Hathaway, and I've been to her house. I went quite recently, last year, with Hannah. It's... You don't get to know her, really. You get to see the living spaces, and it's much more a representation of how people in this period of time were living. But it was really interesting to see that side of her. I know it's based on a novel, and I'm not sure how true it is to history.
I think there's a lot of... I think it's a very liberal approach.
Right, okay.
Yeah. Not that I've read it either, so I can't say that for certain. But
I've heard that there's a lot of historical inaccuracy in this. The film doesn't attempt to be a portrait of a time.
No, I don't think it's interested with obviously the sort of costumes and the sets are period appropriate, but I don't think it's committed to it's not very strict, I guess.
No, I don't think so.
Which I don't think is something you can really critique it for, or criticise it for, I should say.
Yeah, no, I don't.
It's not really what if it's set out to do that, then you kind of understand. You'd be like, yeah, no, that's deserving of it, But
there's some people that are complaining about various sort of anachronistic stuff, like occurrences that happen in the film, and I think it doesn't really concern itself with that.
No.
It's much more about the characters. So I have a kind of... I thought Jessie Buckley was so good in it, really good, but I kind of thought she matched the performances of the other players really. I was less. I don't think she stood out as being like the sort of defining performance, and she's being sort of positioned in that way. I'm probably wrong, but I thought the casting was very much like this is this is the style of acting that needs to happen. And she's very, very good. I want to kind of make that clear. But I thought like Mescal was equally as good, and the child actors were equally as good. But what are your thoughts on that? What stands out to you about her performance?
I think she carries the most dramatic weight in the film.
Yeah.
So I think that's probably a big part of the reason why she's been thrust into the centre of the discussion as far as performances go.
Yeah, okay.
I think Mescal, his kind of work, the way he works, and what makes him such a brilliant actor is it's internalized, right? He can internalize his characters really, really, really well. I mean, if you think about After Sun, it's all internal work.
Oh yeah.
The kind of presentation of I guess the idealized view of a parent, the way he wants to be for his daughter, and the kind of the mental health problems that are sort of quietly besieging him underneath.
Yeah.
He's so good at those kind of layered, quiet performances. I think a big part of the reason why he didn't really work for me in Gladiator, because I don't think he's those big gestures. I don't think it suits him as an actor.
Yeah, okay. A lot of people have said that ultimately he's slightly miscast in Gladiator, actually.
Yeah, and I don't mean that in the fact. I don't think he was terrible.
No.
I just think a lot of the elements of his performance are kind of internalized, and I think that's why, in a way, he's the kind of perfect foil in a way for Buckley, because not that Buckley can't do that as well, because she definitely can, and she does a lot of that in the film. But I think given the nature of how the film unfolds and the focus on her is very much as a grieving mother, left alone to deal with a lot of the difficulties of child rearing and the realities of the time, which unfortunately did mean losing a child. It was very common. I think that's probably why she's there. But I think I agree with you in the sense that the performances across the board are really good.
Yeah.
But I think Buckley really gets to sort of showcase her talent
and anguish, I suppose.
I mean, some of her anguish was like, it was so believable. It was at points difficult to watch.
Yeah. Did it kind of, because obviously what you're saying about Zhao being pointed.
Yeah,
she's doing that in this in moments. She is.
I think so. Yeah, the film. It's funny because I've spoken to a few people that have seen it, and everyone has kind of said the same thing. It's definitely a film that wants to make you cry.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So it definitely has a very clear intention in that sense.
Yeah.
And I think that's where a lot of the criticism has come, in the sense that you can tell, you can see the kind of inner workings and what the intention is. It's driving you to this point, and a strong emotional response.
Yeah. But is Buckley's performance counteracting that pointedness? Is it because it's so believable?
Possibly.
Yeah.
I think you're right. But I think that's another conflict that works in the film's favour, actually, because I think Zhao's intentions are quite clear, whereas Mescal and Buckley they're giving it a little bit more complexity.
Yeah.
Because of the nature of just how fantastic they are. I mean, Ireland seems to be a factory for quality actors at the moment, and I'm all for it. Just producing just some. I would go as far to say some sort of era-defining talent in Buckley and Mescal. I mean, Jesus Christ,
and also
so fucking good.
The
both
little
of them.
kid I know he's not Irish, but the kid playing Hamnet.
Don't care.
Yeah, the kid who played Hamnet, I thought was fantastic, really good. There's a kind of moment in the middle of the film where the burden of responsibility is slightly shifted to him, or at least that is what Shakespeare wants him to believe. So he kind of takes care of his...
to kind of ease the burden of not having him around.
He kind of puts it on his shoulders, and obviously his response is when his sister gets ill, he kind of the sort of theme of it is he will take it away from her.
Yeah,
he'll bear the burden of
to
the
face
illness.
Death. Yeah,
and ultimately
that was quite a cool way of doing it, actually.
Yeah, I thought that was great, and it kind of hinges on the slightly spiritual edge that Jessie Buckley's character has. There's a little bit in there, but it's not overt enough to be in conflict with this sort of realism.
I think the script lets that child actor down a little bit.
Oh right, okay, yeah.
I mean, I know that I do have a tendency to be unnecessarily harsh on child actors, because I sometimes struggle to believe it. But I agree with you; he was very good.
Yeah.
I think the more whimsical moments come from him, and that might be part of the reason why I'm not always wasn't always as convinced.
Oh, right, okay.
But I'm not going to lay into it too much because he was very good, and he's a kid. So
I liked him. Yeah,
no, I thought he was good. I
thought his the sisters were less convincing. There were some moments where the two daughters of Shakespeare, their performances, in comparison to this chap, they kind of did falter a little bit, especially the older one.
Right.
I think maybe she was channeling. There was a moment where she kind of screams out in anguish, and she was channeling that Buckley's way of doing it masterfully and not quite hitting the mark. But
right, okay,
there we go. Sorry, I totally interrupted.
No, it's fine. No. I didn't. Yeah, I can't. Yeah, the performances were kind of serviceable around those sort of. I guess the two, maybe three key performances in the film. The rest of it was kind of serviceable, I guess. Although Emily Watson does a bit more with. I think she does more than with what she's given. She makes with what she's been given better, I guess. Which is, I guess, what you want an actor to do anyway. Yeah, no, I just sort of going back to the kind of more. Yeah, I think I sort of read Lee's review on Letterboxd, and he said something quite interesting that it's quite easy to be just dismissive about a film that's intending to make you cry. You can kind of dismiss it, and I think that's an interesting point. I think maybe it's not always merited to be kind of cynical about that.
Yeah, no, yeah,
and it's easy to be so because sort of films that aspire to be quite soppy, it's sort of. I don't know. There's something. It's easy to criticise them.
Yeah, you feel like you're sort of emotionally manipulative. And also you feel like you're kind of peering behind the curtain if it's not convincing. It's like, well, you're trying and failing to make me upset here.
Yeah.
It does succeed ultimately. Of course the film's trying to make you cry. It's about the loss of a child. I mean, if the film wasn't trying to make you cry, what the fuck is it doing? That's a good point, actually.
It's not going to be a comedy, is it?
Yeah.
Although I'd be kind of semi-interested to see how they make that work.
Would have been bolder.
Yeah, true.
Try it with the next one.
Yeah, Hamnet 2.
Oh,
the Revenge.
Hamnet 2,
Question
the Revenge. Yeah.
Go back to that idea of, how greatness tends to be scaffolded by the suffering of others.
Yeah.
Particularly artistically. I thought the ending was particularly powerful in sort of exploring that notion and how, as a recipient of someone's cultural output, we kind of, it goes back to what we were saying about before about mythologizing people. We give them a sort of higher deify, as you say quite often. We deify these people, and it almost strips them of their humanity and their complexities and their failings as people. And what I thought was particularly interesting is that the film balanced that really quite well, because it was very cynical about that until the end.
Yes, it was. Yeah.
When Agnes sees
Hamlet,
and she realizes that because she kind of feels like he's sort of running away from everything.
Yes,
which he is.
Yeah,
he's running away from his grief, but the way he expresses his grief is through his art, through writing, through performance. And she sees that, and she sees him again for what feels like the first time in years in their relationship. She's seeing it through his work, and it made me think about that sort of complex relationship that we have as kind of recipients of someone's output. And obviously it brings us closer to them in one sense, because it's the idea of art being able to cleanse en masse through empathy and understanding, and you can see that with the audience. They're connecting to his grief, or a sort of variant of his grief,
in a very literal way.
Yeah.
With the hands reaching out.
Which I thought, again, pointed, but kind of worked.
It did work.
I really bought into it. I thought the scene, again, because of the performances and
and the lead up as well, and it takes its time to get to that point.
Yes,
and it's obviously started by Agnes, who's the closest of anyone to him, reaching out, and they follow suit, which I thought was beautiful. And it could have been too much, but it wasn't.
Yeah, I just think because of that sort of deft balancing act between the kind of the deified version of someone and the reality, how it expresses itself through their work. I thought that was really interesting.
It worked as well, despite the musical choice.
Yes, I remember you saying this in the voice note.
Yeah, so the song's called "On the Nature of Daylight." It's a contemporary classical in the sense that it's classically inspired, but it's actually quite a modern piece of music by Max Richter, who was the composer for the film. And it's used in Shutter Island and Arrival, and now this, to illustrate the grief that a parent would feel when losing a child. It's a really odd choice. I thought it was odd in Arrival because I was like, they've used this already. This is a song that's been used in a popular mainstream film. And it worked fine in Arrival, and actually works really well in this, because despite the fact that it was very familiar and it's ubiquitous, it's used in all sorts of stuff, it did still carry that emotion. But I just thought I should mention it because it was an odd choice to me. I was like, are you using this again?
I remember thinking, because obviously I didn't know the name of the song. Obviously I'm quite familiar with Max Richter, but I was kind of like, I'm sure I've heard this before.
Oh, you have?
It did slightly pull me out of the moment, even though the kind of, because it has that kind of, it's this sort of swelling orchestral moment, right? That's designed to kind of build up as the realization, Agnes's realization develops more and more.
Yes, yeah.
It gets to that crescendo, right? Yeah, no, I agree. It's strange.
I think Zhao's gone on record saying it wasn't about its use in previous media. It's about if it works for this, and it does.
Yeah, she's right. Absolutely.
I just thought it was a really interesting choice, considering it's been used so much in the past. But it's a testament to the power of the story and the power of the performances that it didn't completely fuck it. For me. But it is. I think if they use it in anything else now, it's like, come on. This is too much. Like, I mean, it's a great piece of music, but like, use it as a temp track and then get someone to score a different version of it, at least. But there we go.
I wonder if we're going to see that more like
in
old scores being used. Old scores being reused in different films.
Well, there's this piece of music in Sunshine called Adiago in D minor, which gets used all the time. It got used in Kick-Ass, it gets used in countless trailers, and it started in Sunshine, which I thought was great, deployed really well in Sunshine. John Murphy wrote it, but it's just another example of one of these bits of music that gets, like, it's almost like it gets temp tracked and then they just don't replace it. But yeah, I don't know, maybe I'm overthinking it, but because it is an appropriate piece of music.
So it does suit it, despite its use in very similar contexts in other films.
But no, that's my sort of Mark Commody take on that. Really good, really powerful ending. Very almost want. I kind of want to go see Hamlet again now with that context that I know, even if it is largely fictionalized. It's obviously no coincidence that his son was called Hamnet and the play's called Hamlet, and apparently in those days names were kind of like you could swap them about and they were a bit more interchangeable, sort of like how spelling wasn't really a thing. Right. As well, like you could just spell a word however you liked. And actually I thought it was interesting that obviously Shakespeare's wife is known as Anne Hathaway and they call her Agnes in this. Apparently Anne and Agnes at that period of time in history, you could kind of juggle both.
Right.
And you could be known as both, same as Hamlet and Hamnet, I guess.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. A strange thing, kind of, because the film starts with a quote saying, like, by the way, these names mean the same thing. I just thought it was interesting that they used it for Agnes as well.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah.
No, it's good stuff.
Yeah. I think, very soppy, but,
overt.
But I think the conviction is there, and the performances. I think with lesser performances, it would have been more of a problem.
Nice showcase of the English countryside, though. And there's like a visual motif of a tunnel. Yeah. Which is next to a tree. And,
mythical quality to it, doesn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. That was good stuff. Very good. Seek it out, I'd say. I mean, it's going to be in cinemas for ages. It's a front runner for potentially another Oscar. I don't know. I
think Buckley. It'd be I think if you bet on her winning, you're not going to win a lot of money.
The odds. Yeah. Nice.
Yeah, good stuff. Outro.
Questing the cinematic void.
There we have it then. This is episode. Yes, we made it. Yeah,
without being sick.
Oh, mate, I hope you feel better. This is. I mean, you've done well to.
It's totally
so
my.
astute.
It's on me.
No.
I just, yeah. I don't do this very often, and this for this exact reason. Feeling absolutely horrendous.
I don't think the quality's dipped at all, to be honest.
Oh, good. I was worried about that.
No.
I had a few toilet breaks. Obviously, you would have seen those.
I'll cleverly edit them, or maybe I won't. Maybe I'll intentionally just sort of cut to black and just and then come
The sounds of me shitting. Like.
I'll get the sound that they use for Nomadland. Yeah, because it's episode 99 and we've got a 100th episode coming up, we will not reveal what we're doing next time.
And it's not because we don't know.
It's not because of that. No, we do know, and we've discussed it at length. We've had a meeting and everything.
Yeah.
But it's a surprise.
Yeah. As much for us as for you.
Yeah. No,
Don't be surprised if it's just the same.
Yeah.
All right, that would be my foreshadowing.
Yeah. Just Hamnet again. Just redo it.
Yeah.
Look forward to it. We'll potentially try something new. Potentially it might be exactly the same. We won't even mention it. We'll see. But thank you very much for listening to this episode.
Yeah, thank you for getting through another.
Yeah. And we'll catch you in the next one.
Yeah, take it easy and look after yourselves. Bye-bye.
Bye.